Hi everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. The Europa League draw recently happened and we now know who Porto's opponents will be. The scheduling as to who Porto play and when is still to be determined, but we do know the opponents, and I'm going to give you my initial thoughts to them. Firstly, hopefully Porto, this will be Porto's last season in the Europa League for a while. I was meant to do a live you've watched along reaction, but I wasn't well prepared enough, and by the time I did get myself set, which was before Porto were drawn out, there was just not much content to go over. But anyways, let's look at the opponents. So from pot 1, Porto got Rangers at home. Now, I would have preferred if we'd got Rangers away, because then I could have potentially gone to the game. And plus, Rangers have not been looking good lately. In the Champions League final round playoffs, they lost a total aggregate score of I think it was either 8-1 or 9-1. It was a poor showing from Scotland in general, when also considering that Celtic went out on penalties, which I would have taken going up to there as well. But well, Rangers at home. Again, I think Rangers away would have also been better, because that was arguably the easiest pot 1 on opponent. But still, we got them at home. I would definitely expect Porto to breeze past them. And I'll also try and get a guest on for ahead of the preview for that. So yeah, I'm happy enough with playing them, even if it is at home. And we should win a Red Bull Salzburg. This is another team that was at the Club World Cup from Europe. I know they drew with Pachuca. I think they drew with. I think they got 2 draws and lost to Real Madrid, similarly to Porto. So, but I'm not really haven't seen much of them this season. But are still going to be a fixture where Porto are going to be favourites to win. And then they got Red Star Belgrade at home from pot 2. One of the last teams outside of the Big 5 leagues to win in the greatest club prize in European football, what was known as the European Cup at the time. And of course, in 2004, Porto became the most recent team to win outside of the Big 5 leagues. But again, this is a fixture where Porto will be favourites in. Going away to Red Star Belgrade, that would have been a tougher challenge because of the hostile atmosphere. But even then, I still would have backed our chances, and Porto should win. And plus, Red Star Belgrade struggled against Paphos, who did make the Champions League, and also on pot 2, Porto will be away to Vitória Pilsen, who have been in all 3 of the continental competitions lately. Porto will be favourites, and we'll look more into Vitória Pilsen closer to the time. And then Nice at home. Had we played them away, I think that could have been potentially quite tricky. We're playing one of Francesco Farioli's formerly managed teams. So they're arguably our hardest home opponent out of all of these sides. I'll also try and get a guest on for them, and also see what's possible for the Red Star Belgrade game and the others. And then away from home, in pot 3, Nottingham Forest, which is definitely on paper the hardest game for Porto. Also have won the Champions League twice, albeit a long time ago, but they've got the strongest squad out of all these teams, and they've got former Porto manager Nuno Espirito Santos, and they were not far off making the Champions League last season. And I'll definitely be doing a live preview and trying to get a guest on for that game. But one of the other things to say is that Nottingham Forest shouldn't really be here. They robbed a place of Crystal Palace, who they're managed by the same owner as the Lyon owner. So it's a bit of a disgrace that he decided to prioritise Lyon over because normally the FA Cup winners go directly to the European competition, and Lyon initially weren't going to be in there, but then managed to recover their situation. But the other thing I'll say, and sorry if that came across a bit too loud, but Nottingham Forest is away, so we do have a British team away from home. So that means I'm going to try and go to this game. I'm going to try and get a ticket for the away end. And then, if not possible, this might end up being a sellout, but I'll try to go to Nottingham in some capacity, ideally in the away end. And I think out of all the British teams, I think Nottingham Forest will probably be the easiest one for me to go to because there's no direct flights to Nottingham from Porto, and also they if Aberdeen were in this competition, yes, that would have been the hardest to get to, but it's also got a much smaller away end. So I think Nottingham provides the best balance of location and also away end capacity. So watch this space there. And then Malmo, Swedish side, they have been in the Champions League a few times before. They did win the league not too long ago. Porto should win this. And then you've got Dutch side, Utrecht away. Sorry for the mispronunciation if that was, if I did do so. This is a team that Farioli, De Jong, and some of the other former Eredivisie players will know. I would imagine Porto will be favourites, but we'll see how good they are. So I'm happy with that draw overall, even though I would have preferred to play Rangers away. I think when I look at this, I'm thinking we'll get. Well, of course, the league it takes priority, but I would say if we had the team that could compete in this as well, then I think we can get. I think Porto can get 6 to 7 wins and 1 draw, or maybe 2 draws. The Nottingham Forest one will be a tough one to get a win at, but even then, I think Porto could fancy their chances. So yeah, definitely a good draw for Porto. Certainly should win the home games, and Victoria pills on, and for the other games we'll see what kind of shape and mindset Porto are in come the time. But yeah, I'm happy with that overall. Let me know your thoughts. What games are you looking forward to? What do you think overall? and I should I successfully get this video uploaded today, then I have an announcement that I will be going live this evening with a sporting CP YouTuber and fan. So look out for that. But I'm going to leave it there. As always, all interaction is appreciated and encouraged. So yeah, have a good one, and Forza Porto.